You know, I keep seeing these videos online, like quit your job, become your own boss, escape the 9 to 5, build passive income. And every time I watch them, I kind of think I don't think we're telling people the whole story. I actually think that we've kind of romanticized business. We've made it look like this ultimate freedom, which it's not. We've made it look like if you own your own business, you wake up whenever you want, you can travel whenever you want, you work from a beach somewhere with your laptop, and you've somehow escaped this horrible prison called employment. And I don't think that that's true at all. I think business is one of the hardest lifestyles you can choose. Not careers, it's a lifestyle. They're different because business doesn't ever clock off. Your employees might, but you certainly don't. I've never met a business owner that truly switches off. You might be sitting and having dinner with your family, but you're thinking about payroll. You might be lying in bed, but you're thinking about a client. If you're like me, you're probably on a holiday thinking about a proposal you forgot to send. Business follows you everywhere. And if I'm honest, I don't think that enough people talk about that. People always tell me that they want freedom, and I get it. I mean, who doesn't? But I don't think business gives you freedom first. I think that it asks for everything first. It asks for your time and your energy and your weekends and your evenings and sometimes your hobbies and your relationships too. Sometimes, again, if you're like me, it probably demands your health if you're not really careful. And that's why I don't think business is for everyone. Not because people aren't capable, but because not everyone wants to make that sacrifice. And that's okay. I think that we've become really weird about this. We've almost made employment sound like the biggest failure in the world. Like if you work for somebody else, you just didn't dream big enough or something. And that's completely false. I don't agree with that. Some of the happiest people I've ever met have jobs that they absolutely love. They go home at 5 and they spend all this time with their family and they coach their kids' team and they volunteer and they travel and they paint and they have these weird hobbies and ultimately they're more fulfilled. So I feel like who am I to tell them that they should start a business and why? For what? Business isn't morally better. It's just different. Now, if you do choose business, I think you need to understand what you're signing up for because this isn't just your decision. It becomes your family's decision too, and people don't really talk about that. If your husband or wife doesn't believe in what you're building, it's going to be really hard. If your kids don't understand why you're always working late, that's really hard. If your parents think that you're crazy, that's also really hard. You don't build a business in isolation because everybody around you feels it. One thing I've noticed over the years is that people think clients hire me because I'm good at branding, and that's not the reason at all. There's thousands, if not millions, of branding agencies, literally millions and millions. It's such a saturated market. Clients don't really buy from Brandbeat because I can make a website or design a logo or write copy or help with social media or help with colors or any of that nonsense. It's not what they're buying. It's that they're buying another brain. They're buying a certain type of brain. They're buying a certain type of judgment. They're buying a certain type of perspective. Usually, by the time someone actually calls me, they're completely tired. They're exhausted. They've tried all these things. They've spent and wasted all this money. They've hired agencies. They've changed logos. They've changed their website. They've run ads and nothing really feels right. Not because their logo is the wrong color, but because somewhere along the way, the clarity was just lost. And they don't know what they're actually selling anymore or who they're becoming. And that's what we really work on. The branding just comes afterwards. I actually think that most businesses don't have a marketing problem at all. I think that they have a thinking problem. They don't know who they are and they don't know what they really stand for. They haven't decided what they stand for, or it's hard to keep those values once the business starts kind of going. They don't know what they want people to feel. So they keep changing their tactics instead of changing themselves. And they often do what they see around. They try to copy other people. When I started Brandbeat, I had absolutely nothing, literally. I had just gone through one of the biggest financial losses of my life, and there was no way that I could throw money at marketing. I couldn't hire a big team. I couldn't really buy fancy software. And all I had was the way that I thought. So I started consulting, and something really interesting happened. People actually started to pay me. And they didn't pay me for a beautiful office because I didn't have one. I didn't have a flashy website. They paid me because I'd sit down with them for an hour and I could see things that they just couldn't see. And then that's when I realized that my business wasn't selling branding at all. It was selling a certain kind of judgment, certain kinds of observations. And it was really selling the way that my brain solves problems. And that ultimately changed the way that I looked at business entirely. I also think that we've been measuring entrepreneurs by the wrong things. People always ask, usually, how much revenue does your business do? I don't really care. What I really care about is, who have you become while you are building whatever it is you're building? Because business changes you, or at least it should. It exposes every single thing about you. If you avoid difficult conversations and you're that person, your business will expose that. If you're an impatient person, your business will expose that. If you can't really make decisions, your business will expose that. If you can't manage your emotions, your business will definitely expose that too. Your business is constantly introducing you to yourself. And that's a huge reason why I love it. Not because it's easy, but because it's so incredibly honest. It doesn't let you hide at all. I think the reason why I've stayed in business is not the money. I mean, money matters. Of course it does. I mean, we all have bills to pay. But the thing that keeps me here is who I've had to become. I've had to become calmer. It's challenged my sense of communication, and I've had to become a better communicator. I've certainly had to become more patient. I'm certainly a better listener now after all these years. And I'm better at setting boundaries. I'm better at saying no. I'm more comfortable with being uncomfortable because business forced me to grow, and it forced me to grow up. Would I recommend it to everybody? Absolutely not. Would I recommend it to the right person? Yes, absolutely, every single time. But not because they'll get rich, but because they'll meet parts of themselves that they would have never, ever met elsewhere. And I think that that is the true gift that business really gives you. So if you're sitting there and you're really thinking about starting a business, don't ask yourself, do I want to be my own boss? I don't think that that's really the right question. Ask yourself, am I willing to become a different person? Because that's what business asks of you. The business is actually the easy part. It's who you have to become to build it that's really, really hard. Anyways, those are just some thoughts that I've been sitting with this week. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. I'd actually love to know. Do you think that business is for everyone? Or do you think that we've sold people a dream without talking enough about the cost? Anyways, that's enough nonsense for today. I'll see you next week. Bye.